Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, October 21st. Let's see here, 6:01 a.m. You're listening to That's What They Said on WJOB 1230 a.m. 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. We're getting settled in right now, but let's take a look at traffic and weather in 219 News Now while we do that. So, currently right now at the Strack and Van Til Studios, it is 47 degrees today. We are going to be seeing highs of 56 degrees and lows of 45. Throughout the day, we're seeing breezy and cooler weather with increasing cloudiness with a brief afternoon shower or two. And tonight, windy and a shower in spots this afternoon, then partly cloudy in the late. On Wednesday, highs of 53 degrees, lows of 37, breezy with times of cloud and sun. Thursday, seeing highs of 55 degrees and lows of 35 degrees with mostly sunny weather. So we're seeing fall weather finally. So I think that is definitely a big plus as hopefully the trees finally get into those autumn colors. Let's take a look at our traffic. Traffic in the Northwest region is actually looking pretty good. 80 going east and west is looking pretty good. We do have it says here, a structure fire on 175th Street at Halsted Street. That was at 5:11 a.m. There's a fire on the third floor of a commercial building in the 90 West block of 175th Street. As well as we still have, let's see here, on the Bishop Ford, an entrance ramp closed due to construction. That's at Bishop Ford I-94 West at 130th Street, exit 68. That is until 5 a.m. Tuesday, October 28th. So we're going to have that exit ramp closure, and that may cause some traffic here and there. We also have an accident on the right shoulder, I-57 North, before 107th Street. That was reported at 5 a.m. and updated about 30 minutes ago. It's not causing a lot of traffic, but just a little bit, to be aware of that. Let's see here. And still that same thing, slow traffic ramp on the Tri-State I-294 north at I-290 Eisenhower Expressway. But other than that, traffic actually in Chicago is looking pretty good. 94 going east and west is looking good. Eisenhower Expressway going east and west, maybe just a little bit of traffic, but not too much. Same thing with Stevenson Expressway going north and going south. Lakeshore Drive is looking good, as well as the Chicago Skyways going east and going west is looking pretty good. So we're going to play some 219 News now as we get settled in, and then we are going to get started with our show of That's What She Said. So let's take a look at what we have here with 219 News now. If it'll play, because it's loading.
219 News Now is brought to you by the South Shore Line and by Strack and Van Til, making lives easier for 95 years.
I'm Andrew Garcia, and this is your 219 News Now. A Calumet City man, Brian Guerrero, was arrested after a high-speed pursuit on I-80 early Monday, Indiana State Police reported. Guerrero is facing multiple charges, including 2 felony counts of resisting law enforcement with a vehicle. The incident began around 12:40 a.m. when a state trooper observed 2 vehicles racing at high speeds eastbound on I-80 near Burr Street. Guerrero allegedly turned off his headlights and accelerated to 150 miles per hour before being apprehended without incident. Further investigation revealed that Guerrero was wearing a GoPro camera that recorded the chase, according to ISP. The Doolin School Board has approved a $95 million budget for 2026, with allocations including $44.8 million for education, $23.5 million for operations, $15.2 million for debt service, and $11.75 million for the operating referendum fund. The budget covers teacher salaries, instructional expenses, transportation, building maintenance, non-teaching staff salaries, administrators' pay, and long-term debt obligations. The decision was made during a brief special meeting on Monday night. Books A Million is planning a grand opening at its new location across US 30 from the South Lake Mall, which it's moving out of after 14 years. The Alabama-based bookseller is relocating across the street to the crossings at Hobart Outdoor Mall on the north side of US 30. Books A Million is planning a ribbon-cutting ceremony with Hobart Mayor Josh Huddleston for 11:30 a.m. on October 31st at its new location. The grand opening celebration will include a storytime meet and greet with Princess Belle, face painting, a balloon artist, and local author signings from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Gift cards will be drawn for $100 and $500 prizes. And in sports, IU is 7-0 in back-to-back seasons for the first time ever. The Hoosiers welcome in UCLA, who is playing much more inspired football since Deshaun Foster was fired earlier this year. The Bruins have won 3 straight, with their most recent victory coming over Maryland. The voice of IU, Don Fisher, says that this is another game Indiana cannot afford to overlook.
I can't tell you what the scenario is at UCLA in the sense of how things have turned out, except that this. They always have had talent at UCLA. They have some of the best athletes in the world in the state of California and all the surrounding states down there, and they have always taken advantage of that. And they had a good football team last year when Indiana played them out there in the first time that we saw UCLA against IU in football. They had a good team from a talent perspective. They just didn't have the right coach and the right understanding of the concepts of what they were doing. Indiana went out there and kicked their butt. They're going to come in here and they're going to feel the same way that Indiana felt going to UCLA last year, and they haven't forgotten that ball game, trust me, and they've got really good players on this football team.
To read up on more local news and headlines, visit jedtv.com and nwi.com. I'm Andrew Garcia, and this has been your 219 News Now.
And good morning. You're tuning into WJOB AM 1230, 104.7 FM, Hammond, Indiana. It's That's What They Said here on the radio station. And I am Verlie Suggs, my co-host Michelle Quinn and Adrianna Alvarez. We will be with you until 8 o'clock this morning. Now, there's something that, my former radio station that I required everyone to do, and I'm going to start doing that here. Just so there's no pushback or anything that we say, reflects back on the ownership of this radio station. So the views expressed by the host and the callers of this show are not necessarily the views of WJOB AM 1230, 104.7 FM, owner or sponsors. So just so you know, it's our views, and that's what they said. Michelle's going to give you a quick overview of what we're going to talk about today. Then we're going to have Adrianna give us a quick update on traffic and weather, and we're going to get right into it.
Y'all, is 2 hours going to be enough?
No.
Good gravy. Yesterday you get those proverbial
a quick
fire hoses.
overview, Michelle.
Okay, sorry. All right. We've got Nazis in the chat room. We've got the destruction of the White House. A backhoe going in and tearing.
You mean the construction, right?
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean, the construction. We've got an attorney who doesn't know how to use off the record. That was the one that was cracking me up yesterday or last night. What else? We've got the weekend, and Adrianna, and I guess we'll kick off with that first.
We will most definitely kick off with that, with that wonderful celebration of red-blooded Americans.
I don't know. I think that those are the top three that I can think of.
Okay. And then, of course, we're going to invite our listeners, our viewers, to call in at 219-845-1100. But, Adrianna, take it away with the weather and traffic.
Yes, so we just did weather and traffic, but we're just going to do a quick little overview so we can get into our talking points here. So looking at traffic in the Northwest region is looking pretty good. 80 going east and west is looking pretty good. We still have that exit ramp closure on the Bishop Ford by west at 130th Street, and that was updated about 10 hours ago. It may cause a little bit of traffic here and there. But that accident that I mentioned about 5 minutes ago is gone, so that is going to clear up a little bit of traffic. But we do have the right lane blocked with debris on the Dan Ryan I-94 East at 87th Street, exit 61B. That was reported at 6:04 a.m. Chicago Skyways going east and west is looking pretty good. Lakeshore Drive is looking good. Let's see here. We do have a disabled vehicle on the right shoulder on the Eisenhower I-290 East at Central Avenue, exit 23B, as well as slow traffic on the Tri-State exit ramp I-294 going north at I-290 Eisenhower Expressway. But Stevenson and Eisenhower is looking pretty good. 94 going west and going east is looking pretty good. As for our weather, we are in the high 50s and low 40s, so it's finally fall. Thank you so much. Let's see the leaves changing. Please, I'm a little sick and tired of seeing the green leaves as well as the bees. I swear they follow me. One flew into my car and I freaked out. I was just like, okay, this is it. Nice seeing y'all. Nice seeing y'all.
My husband got stung last week shaking somebody's hand. The bee was between their hands.
How
Yes.
Yikes.
So his hand was swollen for a week.
They like to sneak in there, and I was like freaking out. And I think like that's one of the top 10 ridiculous reasons as to why I call my parents. I'm like, what do? I don't know what to do. It's in my car. I won't leave, and I didn't have anything to like throw at it. And it was a hard 10 minutes. I was like, okay, I'm done for the day. That ruined my day. But yeah. Do you want me to start with the?
Oh wait, one more
we
thing.
got one more thing
to add. No fatties and ice, guys.
No,
fatties.
See, I told you we're not going to be calling people names,
Oh,
even
I'm
though
sorry.
that's a term.
Okay. Yes.
We're going to stay away from that.
Okay.
Those people who want to call the governor of Illinois by that rude nickname and things like that. We don't do that. So
sorry.
we don't use. We will say overweight. No overweight people. No, they have a weight limit. I mean, what is overweight? Who decides what weight?
I don't think it's necessarily even overweight. It's that they can't do the. They can't. Nobody can.
They can't pass the physical fitness, right?
No.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's.
Do we want to take the caller?
We're going to take this caller first, so they don't have to wait.
Okay.
We're going to remind our listeners of an event that's going to be taking place over in Holbrook.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes, definitely. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Verlie, Michelle. And I'm not going to call the producer name, but I'm going to say whatchamacallit. I still
Adrianna.
can't.
Adrianna.
I need to
No
spell that name in
whatchamacallit
crack.
here.
I'm not calling her name because I'm still trying to figure out how to say her
We're
name
telling you how to
properly.
say it now. Adrianna, would you please give him a tutorial of your name, please?
It's just how just sounded out, and I won't blame the caller. I have throughout my entire life I've had people mispronounce my name, so I appreciate that they are trying to say it correctly. I do appreciate that of you, caller. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, but tell him how to say it, please.
Producer, you
So
might
that
now.
you get
It was
the
on.
respect
It was
you
on the
deserve.
news. Yeah. It was on the news before I muted my TV. But you might look on I-65. I think they're cleaning it up now. But down by 114, they had a truck roll over, and they're cleaning it up or something. That Highway 114 and 65. You might look on there and see how it's going. But
Yeah. Okay.
you know what?
Let me see.
Hey, you guys, this morning. I could spend your whole show complaining and nagging, but
you won't
I
do
just
it
want
here.
to. No, because I just want to say good morning to you, ladies.
Morning.
It's nice that when I was working before, because now I'm retired, but I'm semi-working. It's nice. I sit home in a warm house. I could watch, because when I used to work, I had to get up, and then when I'm in my car going to the yard, then I start to hear you guys. I'm walking around the yard setting up. I'd listen to you guys, and then when students, I can't listen to the whole show because now I can sit here, relax. And then I was joking with the other two trainers. I says, it's nice. Last year when we had the snow, the cold weather, the rain, and all this stuff, this dude is staying home in a nice warm house when it's cold.
So
I just
are you
I
getting
just
all
wanted
these
to,
honeydews from Deb, or is she getting tired of you being around all the time?
I'm trying to do it before she tells me. And she's the boss.
Proactive, I love it.
But we're doing it. I'm doing everything she wants, or I'm trying to, because we're doing a lot more things now, and it's just nice sitting here watching you and listening to you guys in the morning and drinking my coffee. I don't have to hurry up, rush, and get to work, and
Well, cheers to
I
coffee.
I listen to I watch the stupid news, and I'm getting so sick of everything on the news. Many, many, many years ago, all these news stations, they used to have so much good news, things that are going on in the area and things. Whatever happened to the media, okay, I won't say one station, but at the end of his news media, he has one good thing. But it used to be so much on the news, you hear so much good stuff.
Sure.
Why can't we start, okay, have, you're going to be on till 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, from now, half of the show, everything be good, and half of it can be bad, but, everybody's got their opinions, can listen, I listen to everything,
right.
I have people call me and try to, and talk to me, but But I'm going to let you go so you guys can yakety yak. All the other callers come in, but I just want to say good morning to you,
Good
ladies.
morning.
And
Good morning.
Good
I'm
morning.
going to
Thanks for
enjoy.
calling.
I'm going to enjoy drinking my coffee and listening to you guys, and just you and the staff and everybody, JOB and all listeners. Just have a safe day and put a little heavier jacket on today because it's kind of nippy.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank
Yep.
you.
All right.
All right, so we are going to go directly into what happened this past weekend. We had our on-the-spot reporter, producer, co-host out there interviewing people, just being a part of it. So we're just going to get a recap from you, Adrianna Alvarez.
So I'm going to go in a little more in depth on Thursday because I did go and interview people, but I do have to edit the interviews because people were very passionate and talked in a colorful language.
Got it. Yeah.
So
yeah.
those
Sort
are
of like they
there's
do
some
here.
things that we cannot say on there. And also before I start, yes, I did go interview people, but no, I was not paid by the station to go to this protest. So I'm just going to read to you what I put for my family because they all wanted to know, hey, how was it? And they're very active on Facebook. So I put this for my family so that way I'm not going to get a million text messages and I have to repeat the same thing. I just put it one
Adrianna's
place.
Oh, yeah.
family.
I
Yeah.
loved it.
Oh,
Yeah.
they love
Perfect.
y'all so much. So I went to the protest, and at first I was going to wear all black, cover my face and my eyes, and make sure all my tattoos were covered up. I wanted to prepare for the worst, just in case one person decided to throw something in an attempt to ruin a peaceful protest. Then I realized that's what the people who do not support the cause want. So I dressed as if I was going to the ranch to dance to the music of my heritage. I wore colors of Mexico in my hair, and my sign had the colors of red, white, and blue for the country that I live in, and the red and the white from the board can double for the polar side as well. I got off the train and saw the number of people at the protest and realized I wanted to be seen. I wanted people to know I was there. I never felt unsafe, and I didn't feel as if I was going to get hurt because people were looking out for each other regardless of age, race, gender, and etc. Isn't that what we want as a country? Being there for each other. I didn't want to sit at home, complain about what's happening in the country. I wanted to go make a change. And yes, people are going to see the protest as useless and that it won't do anything, but it shows that people can be organized, people can unite with one another, and that they are angry. But it's one thing if it was a couple thousand nationally, but this was millions in the United States and in other countries as well. I think that may show that something is wrong. My family was nervous for me, but I said that this was something that I really wanted to do. My mom helped me get ready, and right before I left, she said that I'm proud of you, and I know your great grandparents will be proud of you, regardless. And that was regardless of whatever side they were on, because there were some family members that have passed that probably would have been either right or left, whichever one, but they put that aside to support the family member right then and there.
Okay.
And that's one thing I'm very fortunate of, and I know some other people may not be as fortunate to have family members like that.
Right, for sure.
So I took that and I applied it to the protest as well as skills. I interviewed people, and I interviewed veterans, boomers, millennials, Gen Z, Gen X, and even the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. That one I was very proud of. I've never seen that costume yet.
Cute picture.
Nice.
But and they expressed their pride in this country as well as their anger over what's happening. But while interviewing them, never was there a moment thinking that they hated America. If anything, they were fighting for it. And from there, we know that it's not going to change today. It's not going to change tomorrow. It's not going to even change next week. But it may change at some point. Now, there was a reason I wanted to interview certain people. I wanted that veterans were my main thing I wanted to interview because, like how many people may see it, they may see that good, you're fighting for your country, yes, and then there's others that may say, how dare you? You're a disgrace to your country. You're going against your president. You're going against your country that you served. So I wanted to get their viewpoints on it.
Definitely.
And then I wanted to interview everybody from a different generation. And my favorite was that I interviewed these ladies, and they were in their late 70s. And whoa, she was very passionate. She was like, I'm 70 bleeping 8 years old.
Nice.
Nobody's paying me to be here. I do this for free. Like, she was very passionate. And then the people that are in the inflatable costumes, I understand that that looks very ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. But they are making a narrative that if you think that we are such a horrible city that needs the help of the National Guard to come in, then we will show you how criminal we are. And people make the argument that there's more crime in red states than there are the blue states, but they're not sending them over to the red states, just the blue states. They're making that argument. But I went to this, and I'm glad that I did because I became exposed to a protest.
Yeah.
And I do agree that if they continue to just be like this on weekends and all that, it's not going to really do anything right away. I do agree that there needs to be a more proactive way of doing things, and in a way to cause not so much a disturbance, but to be an inconvenience. Yes, the streets are blocked off because the police is doing that for us, opposed to, okay, if people just gathered and blocked off the streets on their own, that causes an inconvenience. And the boycotts and all that, but it's understandable that in this country, especially because there's a government shutdown, people don't really want to do that. But with the protests, people are like, "Oh, you went. How was your Hate America rally? How was the fact that you went on a Saturday?" Which, by the way, people work on a Saturday. Nobody
Sure
is
do.
completely off on a Saturday.
I'm gonna stop you right there, because that whole narrative of it making it a Hate America rally. Did people say that to you, or was that people responding on your Facebook or something?
No, that was what you see in the media, as
Okay,
well
so
as
you're talking about in general what was said. Okay.
in general, yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right.
like, how was your Hate America rally? You know that's not going to do anything. But change does not happen overnight. I like to use the expression of when you plant a seed, when you plant a tree sapling, do you expect the tree to be in your backyard the next day? The roots have to develop, and then it has to grow slowly. This showed that from the 5 million that were at the first one to 7 million and still counting, that's just 7 million in the United States. There's other countries doing this too. That there are people that are angry. Would you rather the 7 million people destroy the cities they were protesting in and riot and destroy government buildings and prove the narrative that these are people who hate America so much that they are going to destroy it? Did you want us to prove that narrative? Or would you rather see the peaceful protests and say, okay, even though I may not agree with you, it's good you're standing up for something you believe in? But that's not going to happen because there is a lot of hate in this world. And that may sound hypocritical because it's basically people saying that they dislike Trump so much. I understand that aspect. I understand that. Now, looking at the protests and all that, when I put in there that people were looking out for each other, regardless of age, race, etc., that was actually very true. I was taking pictures, and I can put them on the screen right now, but there were risers, and there wasn't a ladder to get up on these risers. So you basically just had to climb the little indents that were in them. So I'm climbing up there.
Why would you do that?
to get a to get the best picture ever, to get a good picture, because the pictures I was already taking
I'm gonna
didn't
have to send you
serve
next time with Mike, and you can take the drone.
it wasn't giving it justice, and I wanted to show the whole crowd, and you couldn't even do that from just one riser. So I can show that video right here, but let me see here. Yeah, so I went, and how I was like, it doesn't feel like people hate America, because I climbed up on the risers, and other individuals like coming down, going up to take pictures. So as I'm going down, I'm just like, okay, I don't know how I'm gonna get down. No idea. So as I'm climbing down, you have people that they're guiding your foot there.
Oh.
They don't know who you are. They could care less. They could walk past you, but they see that it's like, oh wait, let me help this individual. Okay, cool, thank you. And then also there were people that were handing out free snacks, free waters, and all that, because they wanted to make sure that while people were out here, they weren't dehydrated, they weren't gonna faint because of all the excitement happening. It wasn't too hot, and we did not get rained on, thank God. And the other narrative is that people are like, well, you all left at a certain time and everything, so it was a paid protest. And the one thing that was going around,
George Soros is going to be awfully broke.
Yeah, and they were like, yeah, people get paid $500 protest.
Man, then I should have gotten it.
I know. I'm like,
we
hold
all
on, where's
should
my
have been there.
paycheck? Who am I expecting my paycheck from?
So, you know what? Those things that people say, it's just trying to diminish
Yes.
what this protest showed. And so we're not giving any play to that, okay?
No. So I'm going to show the
just
video
whether
right now.
sour grapes sort of scenario.
Well, let's face it, if the administration wasn't bothered by it, they wouldn't be talking about it.
Thank you.
And then we wouldn't have videos of, of our president in a fighter pilot
With a crown.
dumping excrement, over, his own country.
Yeah.
And the other thing is,
Yeah.
like, people are like, they're protesting a king that doesn't exist. They're protesting to prevent a king from happening. That's one thing that they're like, oh, king doesn't exist. Ha ha ha.
They
Okay.
really
My only king is Jesus. That's the only
Christ
king.
the King.
Yeah,
So this was
okay.
the view of it. And this is why I say that there's something wrong. Because you're going to tell me that this many people are just here for fun?
Yeah.
It looks like more people than were at the inauguration.
Yeah. And the other thing
that's
is,
clear.
yeah, the other thing
That's
was
obvious.
that people were like, yeah, it's $500 to go to a protest, and they know that because there were people that were like, hey, if you come to this Trump rally, this Trump event, you get paid $500. So, but they're not going to say that narrative. Now, going to this protest, a lot of individuals were like, this didn't do anything. This showed community, as well as there were people out there signing petitions, signing up people to do volunteer
With
work.
their voter registration tables.
Yeah, there were
Very
were
good.
voter registration tables,
Okay.
and there were other news medias that were, news outlets, I should say. There were news outlets that were interviewing individuals and going from there. And at that point, I'm like, it's not that it didn't do anything. It's the fact that it's not going to change overnight. And people need to understand that. And from there, they're like, okay, well, what happens now? What happens now? Well, the people who organize this event have said,
They'll figure it out.
yeah, and they have something that is, they've already planned for that to say what's going to happen now. And they have set up a virtual meeting for people all over the world so that they can figure out what happens next. And I was like, okay, well, let's see. For whatever reason, yes, people are like, oh, you have to schedule these protests and all that instead of just showing up. All right, so I was like, well, let's see. I'm going to humor that part. Let's see. Because I was even like, all right, cool. What are we going to do now? Like, you have all these people that you ignite an activist in them. What are they going to do now? And for that virtual meeting, already about 1.5 million people have signed up for it.
Okay.
And that's not small numbers. And people like to look at the small numbers. And they complain about the small numbers when they see they're like, oh, that's something I go against. I'm going to complain about the small numbers instead of the bigger ones. So, don't know what's going to happen next. But what people do know is that 7 million people in the United States are upset. And
Well, not 7 million people. More than 7 million people. Everyone was not at the protest
Yeah,
march. So
right.
if you look at it this way, and you say 7 million, and you look at the two of us who were not
No.
at that rally,
No.
multiply that by 3. Because just in this room, you have 3 people who were in support of what went on.
yeah.
So that number would not only triple, it would quadruple. It would just keep going on and on. There are far more people who sat home and watched it on TV than that were actually out there.
And also there's a lot of individuals who on social media, you're gonna get all your hate comments. Okay, cool, whatever. Great way to spend your time on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. There are also people that
cares?
were saying, I'm so happy to see that there's so many people out there. I was unable to attend, but this makes me feel as if I'm not alone and that
Exactly.
I'm not crazy.
Right.
'Cause that's
Right.
one thing. And when I'm interviewing individuals and they say, oh, what radio station do you work at? Because I will say I did use my platform to elevate, to be able to talk to individuals.
Sure.
But I was not getting paid by the station.
Right.
And
but
even if
once
I
you
was,
said
I
the
don't
radio station, then you were the representative of the radio.
And I
Yeah.
asked them, I was like, hey, can I speak with you? And then I also asked for their permission. Is it okay if this is an audio interview? Because the lapel mics that I have are compatible with iPhones that do not have the USB-C. And I forgot about that
Whoops.
aspect. So they were all audio. And they were like, oh, where is the radio station at? And I said, in Hammond, Indiana. I'm like, and they're like, well, that's your first mistake because Indiana is a red state.
Right.
And from there, Indiana's known for the, oh, hell is real signs and everything. And it's known to be very, I don't want to say that conservative is the word.
Conservative is the word.
Is it?
Even though you live in the area that's more neutral, conservative for pretty much most of the state is the word, is the term.
So I asked them about that, and well, no. So I asked them all the questions, and the reason why I also wanted to get all generations is because I also hear that you're young, you don't know anything, and all that. I'm like, okay, well, let me ask the people that do know something, apparently.
You're too young, you don't know anything. You're too old, you don't know anything. What do you know?
And I also made sure to interview people because you're going to see that there's this flag that has the crossbones and the little straw hats. And some individuals may not know what that is. And that was because of what happened in a different country. And that the Gen Z overthrew their government, cleaned it up and everything. And that flag was displayed. And a lot of people were very confused as to why. And it was for individuals who've never seen that show. So I found people that they had this big flag of that. And they are dressed up as the character that represents in that show. And I made sure to interview
I just want to
them.
say this real quick. The next time someone says something about you being young, James Monroe, these are the founders of this country, the American Revolution. James Monroe, 18. Aaron Burr, 20. Alexander Hamilton, 21. James Madison, 25. Thomas Jefferson, 33. John Adams, 40. Paul Revere, 41. And George Washington, 44.
I was saying, the ones who wrote the Federalist Papers was James Madison, John Jay, and Alexander Hamilton.
So no one can say you're too young.
Yeah.
Okay?
But
you are here at a radio station producing shows, hosting 2 shows. So that argument, just throw that out with the dishwater.
yeah. So that's a little overview of the protests. I will go into more depth on Thursday and play the interviews. I'm going to play about 3 of them because 2 of them, you can't really hear them. And you hear the people cheering in the background.
Right.
So I will go more in depth into those and the different things about that because not only did they talk about immigration, they talked about healthcare, they talked about representation of their generation and as well as just what it means to be there and to know that something's wrong. And the last point that I'll do before we go to this caller, and then after this caller, we'll take a break because we only have one caller, that I saw dogs out there. And me personally, I don't think I would take my little fur baby out there because there's too many people for my liking.
Right.
But I saw dogs and they had their little signs over their backs. I was just like, this is very cute.
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, stand up for the dogs that don't got papers. You got this.
That's right.
And people, they were like so happy to see that not only is like you're breaking that stereotype that these protests are dangerous because there's children out here, there's dogs out here, there's people out here that have disabilities. They're out there and they want to show that they are not happy with what's going on. People are like, oh, well, you voted for this, but it comes to a certain point, and I see that this is all with all of this happening in the news, that one of the narratives people are like, Obama wore a tan suit and ordered Dijon mustard on his burger, and people were livid with him. But people are not livid with Donald Trump.
No.
Now, I don't remember those certain things, so I can't really comment on that. But hearing about that, just regardless of whatever side you're on, hearing about that, I'm just like, were people really that upset over those 2 things?
So
But
they were upset. Michelle wore a sleeveless dress, but Melania posed nude. So,
Yeah. So we have one caller. We're going to take
All right,
the caller.
we're going to take the caller in
Go
a
ahead.
minute. Adrianna, we want to thank you for your report on what happened this past weekend. We are advocating for you to get paid because there's no government shutdown here at WJOB, and you very well served this radio station. And so if the owner is listening, your boss, the general manager.
Well, even if from there, I wouldn't want to get paid to go to
just
the
your
protest.
expenses for going out there. If he wants to buy your South Shore ticket,
No.
you deserve.
I wouldn't take it because
cover.
that's not something that I want to get paid for. I want to do that because that's something that I choose to do. Because there are people that like we said, this doesn't represent what the station is for. Because there are some individuals that completely disagree with me that work here, and there's other individuals that do
But
agree
that's
with
fine.
me. And
They
that,
don't
yeah,
have
that's
to.
perfectly fine. But hence why I don't want to get paid to go to something that I would have went to even if I wasn't getting paid.
No, you're not getting paid to go to it. But
Yeah.
if you're using any of your interviews, you should definitely, get covered because it is content for your station.
At that point, that's how I get paid.
Yeah.
It's because it is material used to talk about something that I feel is important. So,
Great.
all right. so
Great
we're gonna-
job. Let's go to the
We're
phone
gonna go
calls.
to a phone call, and then we're gonna take a break, and then we'll continue.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
How you
Good
doing
morning.
this morning? Best day of the week.
Oh,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tuesday, man, it's like the dream come true. The dream team, man, it's the best, and
You know what? You
Great
used
topic.
a term that I wonder if Adrianna is even familiar with. The dream team. Do you know what the dream team means, Adrianna?
I know that I've heard it all throughout doing sports,
Yes.
and that can mean a very
Yeah.
that can mean very different teams from all different kinds
Now,
of
see,
sports.
I'm thinking of the OJ trial.
right.
See that? I did not think of
Okay. Yeah, that too. But I mean, just the right people, the right day, man. It all comes together and makes for a great team, great
Thank
show.
you. Thank you.
But, I wanted to say and chime in, I was proud to be part of that number Saturday. It was awesome.
Did you go to Crown Point or
And-
Valpo or Chicago?
I was in Highland.
Okay.
I was in Highland.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, and
I left
let me
Highland
tell you
out.
about that, though,
Okay.
because I had gone to get my Jeep oil change, and I passed by before noon, and nobody was out there. I was like, I wonder if they're doing anything, and I think I posted something, see where everybody was at.
Yeah.
And then on the way back, I saw about 20 older white folks standing there.
Right.
And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go out there, man. I'm gonna go stand with these people. I was the brownest thing there at the time. But it was fabulous. It was great. And then people just started pouring in, and they did have like a quit time, I think about at 3, but people were still coming. By the time I left about 3, there must have been about 200 people there.
Okay.
And
Wow.
there were people on every corner,
Right.
and it was really awesome. I didn't have a sign or anything, but I did have a Gulf of Mexico T-shirt on. So
Excellent.
I love it.
that spoke volumes, and it's really, really interesting. I'm shouting my full head off, asking for people to honk their horn. And my thing was, when people would come by, some would open their window, some would honk. I'd say, come park your car and stand with us, stand. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything, and millions of people did fall for that, and there you go, and then you had the haters going by, telling us how old they were by their fingers, and
I like that one.
when you tell a baby, how old are you,
I like
and
that.
they'll do a little finger or two, oh, that's how old you are, huh? And okay, cool,
like
and
that.
real haters, is amazing. Not everyone. It's kind of awkward because that's kind of a long light.
Right.
So you're shouting and everything, and then you're just standing there, and we're all looking at each other.
Right.
but,
right.
But it was very cool. So I'm very proud of that. And I think Verlie is right because I'm thinking, okay, 7 million they're saying, but do they take into account all the little local protests, and I don't think so, So
I think,
it had
they
to
are
be more than 7 million.
including them. Yeah. And I
Okay,
think,
good.
I think what's also interesting too is that it wasn't just big cities. I was looking, watching the footage all day, or scrolling it online, and seeing Boston. That was the first one I saw. I was like, oh my
yes.
God.
Yeah,
Boston was huge. DC was huge.
New York City.
New York City
With
was. All of
Yeah.
these.
100,000 people.
Chicago.
Yeah. So you've got, Philly. Philly was massive. So you've got all these big ones, but then you go to like Idaho and Montana all of these, typical or not typical, but all of these staunchly red states, and you're starting to see
that people don't agree.
Yep,
Yeah,
and you can't tell me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so they're I would be watching that very carefully, y'all, because
Yep. Now's our chance.
and
Now's
the
our
numbers
chance.
with the numbers that are picking up, it kind of feels like to me that maybe people, I don't know, I have my thoughts, but I'm encouraged.
Absolutely.
I'm encouraged.
Yeah. One more thing outside of the protest. How about, as people are being furloughed, as people are being fired, Trump demolishing part of the East Wing for his gold-plated ballroom, and who's
He thinks
paying
he's
for
in the
that?
Gilded Age again.
Oh my God, it's horrible seeing that, and
It's
like,
jarring.
wow,
Absolutely.
yes, it is. That's sacrosanct. That's history right there. And he's tearing it all up. He already destroyed the Rose Garden, and it's nauseating. Because if you see like old pictures of his inner, old Trump Tower and stuff, it's all gilded like that, and it's tacky. It's tacky as hell.
Right.
And I've seen something similar like in Russia, what they do over there, and he's just taking that playbook, and it's disgusting, it's pretty nasty,
Yeah.
So it's sad. It's very, very sad what he's doing, and it's going to take a while to repair this, to heal this, and these divisions are going deep, they're very deep. And somebody said the other day, I think on the last show you guys had, yeah, we need to have a dialogue, and get together and stuff. Too late, I think we're way past that right now. The lines are clearly drawn now, and you can see the vitriol that's being spit out, and it's hard. It's hard. Michelle tried to tell us to go high, but that didn't work. And I hate to be that guy, right? And I hate to be that guy, but I'm capable. Some words escaped my mouth as I was standing there, and and there was many senior citizens around and stuff, like, oops, sorry,
Well, we appreciate you calling in and sharing your experience. I know Gary had a
problem.
rally.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure where, did East Chicago? I know they had a
I
march
know
the week
Highland,
before,
Valpo, those were the two big
Valpo,
ones.
yeah,
Crown
Valpo
Point
was
had-
huge.
Crown Point had at least, I think, 1,000 people out
Yeah.
there.
Too as well.
Right.
That's awesome. That's great to see. So keep up the good work, ladies.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for calling in.
All right, so we're going to take a break, and
Okay.
then we are going to go back into the list of topics that we have, and because a lot of them center around the protests too, and
Sure. Tangentially,
call
yes.
to action, yeah. So we're going to
yep.
take a break,
Okay.
and then we're going to do traffic weather and jump back into those topics.
Groovy.
So you are listening to That's What They Said on WJOB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana, and you're also watching live on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Cool.
And welcome back to That's What They Said in the Morning here on Tuesdays on WJOB AM 1230 104.7 FM. I'm Verlie Suggs. My co-hosts are Michelle Quinn and Adrianna Alvarez. We do apologize for those who were tuning in early and we weren't on the radio quite then. We were on your YouTube.
You know, I was here. I got here early. I set everything up. And I am still a little on the sleepy side. I went to a concert last night to go see Gun in Chicago.
Okay.
But he was at the...
So you spent two days in Chicago this
Yes, I did.
All these people who are so afraid to go to Chicago, you know?
I was in Uptown by the ballroom.
Okay.
But it was definitely a drive. So I'm a little on the sleepy side.
So did you go by yourself or did you go with a friend?
No, at first I was just going to go by myself because I didn't know a lot of people who listened to Giveon. And then two of my friends, they're like, we love Giveon. If we can get tickets, we're going to go with you. And they did. It was general admission. Definitely, I think he could have sold out a stadium.
Okay.
How many people they try to pack in there.
Oh, boy.
Because we were very far back. But I was able to watch him and listen to his music, and he is just an incredible performer, and his music is very good. And yeah,
Excellent.
So I didn't get home, go to sleep until about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my
Ouch.
goodness!
So
and then
that
here
one's
you
on
were
me.
at
That one is on
before
me.
6.
That
So-
one is on me. Sorry for our listeners, but we do have a lot of people on YouTube, which I'm very happy to see. Congratulations to all the producers because we are working very hard to get this YouTube set up. So
once again, let our listeners know how they can go on YouTube.
Yeah, so if you just look up on youtube.com/WJOB1230, you'll be able to see us live as well as subscribe to us. And just a shout out to our producers, Matthew Kaufman, Joe Semino, and Lynette Lopez. We are all working super, super hard to get you guys' content, and it's paying off. We're seeing a lot of viewers. But let's get into traffic and weather so we can continue on with our topics. So taking a look at traffic in the northwest region is looking pretty good. 80 going east and west is looking pretty good. For that caller that called this morning, I'm not seeing what they called in about on
I-65 and 114 or something.
It was probably cleared up already.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah, it was cleared up, but I'm not seeing that right now. So, like you guys said, it's probably cleared up. 80 going east and west is looking pretty good. Skyways, toll road is looking pretty good. We are seeing Lakeshore Drive is looking good. Let's see, exit ramp closure still on that Bishop Ford west at 130th Street, and that is causing a little bit of traffic, not too much. Connector from the Dan Ryan to the Bishop Ford is looking a little bit heavy in traffic. Stevenson going north is looking a little heavy in traffic. Eisenhower going east and west is looking heavier in traffic. And let's see here, 94 going west, going east is looking pretty good. Taking a look at our weather, again, we're still in those high 50s and low 40s for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. See a little bit of rain or with a shower or two in the afternoon, but other than that, it is looking like clear skies with some fall winds in the air. So we're very excited for that.
I hope we're going to have a good day for Halloween this year. You know, it's gotten cool. I was hoping it would stay warm a little longer.
Sure.
And I want the children to have a good Halloween. A lot of places are doing trunk or treats, but I still love when the kids come to the door.
We will be at the trunk or treat and for North Township that is the 25th at 1 o'clock. WJOB is going to be. Whoop! I just dropped something. WJOB is going to be with Dave Kuziak with Kuziak Constructions. We will be there handing out candy. You will see your favorite producers in costume.
Oh, nice.
Uh-oh.
And as we all dress up, so I will be
So
wearing.
what are you gonna be?
I am going to be Luffy from One Piece, and that is one of the 3 costumes that I have. The other
So tell me
ones-
about this Luffy from One Piece, because I'm not
so
familiar.
basically, he is from an anime, and he is a character that I think he's in the show. He's very young. He's like 14, 16 years old. But he has started his own little pirate crew because the revolution of pirates has begun to find the greatest treasure of all, the One Piece. So he goes and he establishes his crew with some of the strongest fighters that are within the region that he is in, from the East Blue to the North Blue, all these different things. So he goes, and throughout his journeys, he's comes to different islands, and he realizes that people there are being oppressed, that government is corrupt, that there is
He must have come to the island of the United States of America.
that and there's a lot of different plots where it's corporate greed, corrupt government, human trafficking,
The heck you say?
and just all these different crimes. Any crime you could think of, it's happened in this show. And mind you, this is like a show that children watch.
It sounds like your South Park there, Michelle.
The thing with that is that he takes down people, and he's the king of liberation. He takes down people that are oppressing others.
Okay.
And that is the main message that has been spewed throughout and is happening now. And Gen Z is taking the narrative of a show that they've been watching for years, because this show is over 30 years old and still going.
So this is like the Japanese anime
Yes.
with the big eyes and
Yeah. So, and they're taking this narrative, something that as a whole collective, a community can come to, because the anime community is huge. You think
Yeah.
Marvel is huge? Anime is very huge.
Yes.
And they're taking this and they're like, okay, everybody can relate to this. So let's take this message that we see in the cartoons that adults are like, oh, they're just cartoons, it doesn't really matter, and put that into real life. And there's a lot of different parallels, I will say. So I'll go more into depth with that on Thursday with that interview. I just have to, again, edit it because
Cool.
of the
right. Okay.
language.
Cool.
Well, 219-845-1100 is the number to call if you'd like to weigh in on anything we've discussed this morning.
72 people on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching us.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Keeping on the numbers. So, Michelle, one thing that was brought up by our caller, and you mentioned this morning, was talking about the construction taking place at the White House. Now, we know we're on a government shutdown.
Right.
Can't get the senators
Yeah.
to agree on anything,
Who
but
is
apparently,
supposed to actually, they're the ones that are supposed to approve.
Did he get congressional approval? For
No.
this? No? Okay.
No.
so
Nope.
so we know that, of course, presidents are allowed to come in and make changes. I think didn't they change the Rose Garden?
Yeah, they've done
It
that.
was
They
the
Yeah,
Rose
they
Garden.
they got rid of the Rose Garden.
Obama added a kitchen.
They still have the
Solar
bowling alley
panels.
downstairs.
Yeah, solar
Okay,
panels,
so that hasn't
pools,
changed.
tennis courts, but because one narrative that I kept seeing was that Jackie Kennedy was trying to restore the White House when she was there with JFK. And the thing with that is that, isn't it protected because it is
It's a national landmark.
It's a national landmark. So certain things can't be destroyed. And yes, adding in tennis courts, adding in pools and solar panels, you are going to have to do a little bit of demolition on the land. But to knock down an entire building, has any president in the history of the presidents that we've had knocked down entire buildings in the White House? That's one thing that I don't know.
That's a good question.
Because from there, it's a national monument. I would think that there's a little bit more of congressional approval that you need to go through to knock down buildings. Now, for me, I see it as, okay, we're in a government shutdown, and this is what you're concerned about, my guy? Like, you can change the White House. You get congressional approval, change it however you want. Cool. People are going to get mad at you regardless of what you do. But you could do that a little bit later. You don't got to do that right now.
There are no rules. There are no rules. We can just do whatever we want now. So,
So, yeah, but I don't know. What is your guys' take on that?
for me, it's jarring, and I realize that that we have a lot of other pressing things out there. We've got goons picking us up off of the street for whatever reason, and we've got SNAP benefits that are about to run out. We've got a whole host of other problems that are people oriented that we need to be focused on. I get it. But seeing that building, with this backhoe, like tearing it apart, there's something really gross about it.
For a ballroom.
Yeah.
For a ballroom. So he can have heads of states and they can waltz around the room.
Yeah. It just...
But I'm sure that, his supporters will find nothing wrong with that. But they're welcome to call in and share why it's okay, why they think it's okay to demolish the West Wing.
Not the West Wing, it's the East Wing.
The East Wing, I'm sorry, the East Wing.
So I can also clarify this too, because I when I was talking to Boo last night, and I was like, did we see that when we were there? And he's like, no, we saw, and looking at an aerial view of it, it's like, oh, okay, we saw the west side of it. Mm-hmm. But the east side is truly, it's largely the people it's the staff who runs the White House, and it's the First Lady's.
Her secretary or what?
Yeah, it's kind of that pool. So it's largely administrative, and they're not tearing the whole thing down, I guess.
All right, but it's costing $250 million.
Well, yes, indeed. And I'd be real interested in seeing, and I'm sure that there is somebody digging up, who the company is that went ahead and started this. Do they think they're going to get paid? That's my question. I wonder, do you all really think you're going to get paid?
So with the government shutdown, you mean, or just period?
Just period.
Because he said he was going to do part of it through donors.
Right.
And I just want to know what the GoFundMe says. How much have they raised so far?
Right. I know that like Apple and Amazon and all these people have contributed to this ballroom.
So they'll get invited to the first ball, but you won't, Michelle.
Oh, yeah. It's all right.
I'm sorry. Now, on another note, the price of gas has gone down real low.
I saw that. Yeah.
So I guess we shouldn't complain about a ballroom because we can get gas for $2.35 a gallon.
Yeah,
if you go to Costco.
Except I'm still not walking out of the grocery store without paying at least $50 each time. But
I will say I did grocery shopping, and with like the little coupons and all that I had, it was still over $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For just me.
I'm going to be quiet about what I spent on groceries because I don't want to sound like an elitist. So let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. I think I need to round the show up a little bit. It's moving a little slow.
No.
I thank everybody that went out there to protest, used their freedom of speech. There was a person who was pointing to her neck and shooting herself in her neck, and her name is Lucy Martinez.
Okay.
She's a Chicago teacher. Now she's fired.
Let's see.
Indoctrination really bothers me. I was for the college bound, but kind of now I'm kind of like thinking about it. When a certain professor gets on these radios and said, when you're over the age of 55 and you got gray hair, you're a white supremacist. I taped it. I'm not going to mention any names. We all know who he is. I don't want to put my hard-earned money to fund this program if that's what we're teaching. What did Lucy Martinez teach?
I don't agree with what she did. I don't think that was right. She did it to mock what happened with Charlie Kirk. And in that case, yeah, she probably should have been let go from her position. That's just not, you don't make fun of an assassination like that. So, yeah.
No.
And that wasn't right.
In the end, we know Trump ain't going to run again, so... Do we really
know that? Do you think he might try and change the laws?
Look, I voted Obama twice, so don't everybody get down on me, okay?
MX.
So, So the thing of it is, what? And I'm trying to.
Wait,
when I
MX,
used to
go
put
back
up-
to who said that people who are 55 and great that are white supremacists? Who made that comment?
I'm not going to say. We all know who it is. Come on.
I don't know.
I
You
know.
said-
Somebody can
you
call in and tell you. Oh, I know you know. I
I
take it,
really
but
no. Listen to me. I do not know. And the point is, if they called in and said it, then it's public.
no,
record.
they were on the show and Jed was there.
Okay.
But anyway,
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
you know, I am. I got a tape. But anyways, what were we trying to prove? Every time I put on a protest, it was like BioGreen or to get some more land back for the Gibson Woods. Now, you got to remember now, I helped save Gibson Woods. So if you walk through there, we started at 1975.
Mhm.
And it was a 5-year project, and we saved the Gibson Woods to people around here. So if you walk through there, you could thank the dirt bike riders.
Is that where the
What?
overpass is going?
No, that's Ken Rosick's deal right there. But the thing of it is, when you protest, I've never heard anybody say, what were they trying to prove in the end? What do you want? What do you want from this protest? I always, when I went into a protest or I organized and my buddies were right there with me, we knew what we wanted. But in this protest, it's kind of juvenile.
Why is it juvenile?
Yeah, you know what? What do you want? What do you want? We want to know
Adrianna
what you
shared
want.
everything of what they wanted and what they were protesting. But let me ask you, what were people protesting on January 6th? And for those who don't like January 6th being brought up, it's more recent history than some of the other history that you don't want brought up as well. Okay? So tell me what
A
they wanted on
stolen
January
election.
6th.
It was a
They
stolen
wanted
election.
they wanted a stolen
You put
election.
a man up there.
Max.
No, you asked me to say it.
I'm
You
listening.
put a man up there who had prostate cancer. He just didn't have Gleason score 8 and 10 and stage 4 the day he retired. Prostate cancer is a 10-year
All right, is that what
travel.
they were protesting his prostate
This
cancer?
man was never won.
But he got
He never won.
He actually won the election. and
He
actually
never won.
He actually had more votes in the
And
popular vote than Donald Trump did. But let me ask you this, because people who came out this past weekend, they protested fascism. They protested dictatorship. They protested everything that's going on with ICE right now. They protested the authoritarian rule of
protested-
Donald Trump. So they were protesting something.
No. They wouldn't be protesting if Biden didn't say surge the border. What can't you people realize? When you cross that border illegally, you're an illegal.
Woo! Yeah.
You're an illegal. I can't cross.
Well, I'm going to
I
take
can't cross
Adrianna's
the
stance and
border.
say you can't be illegal on stolen land. So I guess
I
you're
can't-
illegal. You must be illegal too.
That's what you think, but there's laws of the land. You got your laws of the land,
Are you Native
and it
American?
means nothing.
Are you
You're,
Native
you're a
American?
small
he is somewhere.
microcosm.
Oh, okay.
You're a small microcosm, and you got your laws, but there's federal law. When you cross that border and
those
you search that
caravans.
border, you're going to go back. And you know what? Nobody said nothing about Obama and Clinton, who
Who started the
deported
caravans?
twice as many as Trump. Why ain't somebody saying something? And I got to straighten somebody out here. I lived it, and so did I know you did, Verlie. But when you read from the internet and you say Reagan about the emergency, Clinton helped too, but nowhere near it says for illegal immigrants to come from another country and use our healthcare system. Nowhere does it say that. And Clinton finished that act about the emergency room act. I read it. I lived it. And he never said on the radio, on the TV or anywhere, I want everybody from a foreign country to come over here and use our emergency room. That is a stupid argument. That is indoctrination. And I don't, and that's what I love College Bound. And I love the trades. It makes a lot of smart people. But now it's starting to turn.
Turn what?
And I'm getting to wonder with this teacher pointing towards the neck, and people
She was a
coming out
Chicago
telling,
teacher.
Is she a teacher here locally?
calling people the wrong names, and this is why they don't want us up in Wisconsin.
Well, you don't have to worry about me.
I had to tell my buddy Victor. He left. He left me his fishing pole. He was Afro American. I said, dude, it ain't you. It ain't the color of your skin because they do it to me. Now this is the fourth time I got accosted. Every morning I go over there to the gas station, get a cup of coffee and some fruit. So when I get back done fishing, I'm not hungry because I got to clean the fish. And so I go there with my boat in the back and Indiana plates. And this guy must have been a boy. I could tell he was a boy. He was a bully when he was younger. And he said, don't be throwing fish guts in the garbage can. And he looked at me like he's going to beat me up. And I said, man, don't jump. Please, don't jump. It's going to be a while for me to get my buddy to pick me up out of jail, but don't jump over that counter. I know you're a bully. I've seen your kind. But they don't want us up there because they can, when you talk dumb down here, they know it up there.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, go ahead. How'd you like that rant, though? Was that good?
Yeah, it was good. It was you getting back to your norm. So, yeah, you like ranting, so we always appreciate that, MX.
Thank you.
Let me ask, so definitely have a problem with the teacher, mimicking a gunshot wound to the neck. How did you feel about the Dodger fan losing her job because she told other fans that she was going to call ICE on them?
Call ICE on it. Is that the one that stole the ball, the baseball?
No, this is a different one.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about that one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so basically,
Yeah, I can't comment.
Okay.
Because I fully don't know. But
so if somebody's at, let me
me
make it generic. If somebody's at a sporting event and they see somebody who doesn't look like them, and they say to them, "I'm going to call ICE on you," because they look like maybe a group that's being persecuted right now and being grabbed by ICE agents. Do you think that person is wrong and should lose their job?
You know what? I'd have to read into this. But I do know one thing. And Chuck Poland backed me up. If you import people from a third world country, you're going to be a third world country. And you know what? Go to Cuba for a while and see how that is. And we have to know this isn't Ellis Island anymore. We have to know what's coming over after 9/11. We have to. What more do you need than two buildings coming down? Yeah, keep clapping. You're a SEAL. When you ain't got nothing better to do or nothing better to say, you gotta act like a little kid.
Yeah, Mix.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
And you know what?
Bye.
Okay, we do have
Thank you for your call.
2 more callers.
Let's go to the phone lines. We appreciate everyone's call, but we will not call people names. Michelle Quinn is not a SEAL. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Oh, here we go.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hi, Verlie. I'm Michelle.
Hi,
Dave. How are you?
Dave.
So the individuals that call in and say we're a nation of law, right?
Uh-huh.
So how do they feel about due process when a 12-year-old boy gets hit by an ICE vehicle and taken into custody for 4 hours and his parents don't know where he's at? Mm-hmm. How about an 18-year-old girl in Pilsen walking down the street and taken away for 5 hours to an undisclosed location? Her parents have no idea where she's at, right?
Yeah.
There's this thing. It seems like we're a nation of laws till it comes to due process for brown people. Then all that goes out the window.
Well, even due process for boats out in the ocean, because right now we're just bombing them. That's ridiculous.
Well, not even that, but let's go back to that 13-year-old kid. So they kidnapped this kid, and then all of a sudden the government is putting out that he's a gang member, a 13-year-old kid.
Well, there are 13-year-old gang members.
Yes,
there are.
I mean,
but there's
you showed
nothing
the video,
that says this kid is.
This boy. They hit this little boy. He was a little guy.
Right.
They hit him on a bicycle.
That's
and then
crazy.
of course, all the ICE agents are just, absolutely peak of fitness, right?
Yeah.
This guy he was tipping $350, and he fell on top of the kid.
A woman
A 12-year-old boy
got a
That's
jail
crazy.
sentence for doing that to her foster kids. So
Well, they're on trial right now, ICE agents, for some of the things they've done in Chicago, right?
I
They're
think
supposed
so,
to go
yeah.
before the judge, I think, today. So
You know,
hopefully there
the
is.
questions I have: where did these agents come from? How many of them were pardoned insurrectionists from January 6th?
right,
Who swears them in? There has to be a record of them being sworn in. There has to be a record of them getting their $50,000 signing bonus, while the government shut down. So I was out there for the No Kings in Gary.
right.
Okay.
And talk about peaceful.
Yeah.
There was not one incident from either side. There was no opposition there. The police, from the transit police to Gary PD, I want to thank them. They were very, very respectful.
Yeah.
And they said, "Hey, you can't be on this parking lot, but you could be over there."
Right.
They could have went south, right? They didn't. They were very respectful and very helpful. There was one gentleman that was directing traffic. He was there for the event. And they actually said, "Hey, are you hungry? Do you want a cup of coffee? We'll get you some coffee. Thank you." Yeah, absolutely. So things went extremely well. I was there for a few hours and met a lot of great people. And it really wasn't, when you really started talking to people, it was not so much a No Kings rally, but it was people fearful for legal immigrants in the country, the LGBT community, our due process, our rights, the right of law. I mean, that's really what was being spoken there. Not so much, against the president, right? But he said he's one of our first presidents that the buck doesn't stop there. So it was a really nice event, and I really hope the contractors working on the ballroom, the $200 million ballroom, and the future contractors that are going to be working on the Arc of Triomphe type statue for their god. I just hope they get paid because his track record, he screws contractors and union men and women.
Oh, indeed.
Definitely.
And I was going to say, I saw last night watching The Daily Show. They were doing a montage, and then I saw that the president had a little arc that he was showing. Oh, we're going to do this. Do y'all remember Spinal Tap and Stonehenge?
I know Stonehenge, but
Okay,
Spinal Tap, I'm not
so
sure.
there's this bit in Spinal Tap where they're about to do their song Stonehenge, and they're supposed to drop down this giant thing, but it's this little stone. And that's all I can think of. Oh, we're having this little arc. I'm like, oh my god. That just kind of that sent me.
Well, I would tell you, Dave, don't count on knowing who these ICE agents are unless we end up having like the trials of Nuremberg, where you actually have to unmask these Nazis.
Yeah.
Well, I think we know that's not going to happen, and for more and more and more agents to hit the streets, I'm not the first one to say this, I really feel, first of all, these agents are not going where the crime is in Chicago or anywhere else, right? They're picking up trash around the bean. This is all theater. They just want to be seen,
Right.
and they're picking up 12-year-old kids.
Right.
So, and just based on the color of their skin.
Racial
I
profiling.
really feel that this is just a way to get the public desensitized of seeing troops in the street.
Yep.
And that false flag that we're here to protect you BS. I mean, Poland's been through that.
Speaking
Germany
of
has
desensitized,
been through that.
Trump's AI video.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dave.
Yeah,
Appreciate your call.
Yeah.
All right, and then we also have one more caller.
All right, Adrianna, did you have any comments you wanted to make on any of this that we've discussed
I just
so
want to
far?
know, do ICE agents get training?
Yes.
They do. How long?
I'm not sure how many weeks their training is.
Who
A lot of,
knows?
so they're recruiting from police departments as well as ex-military.
They're
So they're
trying-
coming in with some sort of
Knowledge.
some sort of training.
Okay.
It's just like when they started hiring those air marshals and different things, they were recruiting from prison guards. Different
Yeah.
different law enforcement agencies.
Allegedly.
Because that is one thing. It's like, do they have the proper training? Because
what is the proper training? Because it seems to me that what
Yeah.
they're doing is what the government wants. So,
well, so you're gonna see, and this could be like, okay, not all ICE agents are bad, because that's like saying
Right,
one
right.
one bad cop is going to make all cops bad. That's not true. That is not true whatsoever. I would like to know how long their training is, and if they get the proper training, because people,
You can look that up, though.
yeah, because I understand they're immigrants, they're illegal, some of them are criminals, but that doesn't mean they're still human beings. Regardless of how much you want to treat them poorly, you should still treat them with respect. Now, of course, people are going to say, well, it's not going to be all nice rainbows and sunshine. I understand that. I understand that if you start running away from authority, you are going to have a higher punishment. But still, you see these videos in the media that they are harassing these individuals, they're tackling them to the ground, they are beating them up essentially, and that makes all ICE agents look bad.
Exactly. Just like any police officer that, does something unjust, it paints a bad picture on all police officers.
Yes. So
any immigrant that has committed a criminal act makes all immigrants look bad, because all immigrants are being picked up.
That's like,
sadly.
say, like, people like to use the term, well, you cross over the border illegally, what did you think was going to happen? And, okay, so we should chastise the individuals for their decisions in life. Okay, so if you smoke a cigarette and you end up getting lung cancer, well, what did you think was going to happen? So then should we not provide them the medical care that they need? If you have a problem with alcohol and your liver gives out, should we not put you on the transplant list?
I mean, you knew what was going to happen, as they would say.
But we're not going to deny an individual the care for their actions, but we're going to deny the immigrants for their actions. It doesn't add up to me. And then also, one question that I got from a family member is like, well, Trump's trying to take away the Obamacare Act. What is he going to replace it with?
It's not.
He has nothing to replace it with. That's what they've been saying since his first term in office.
If he had something to replace it with, I don't think this would be such a big issue.
If he had a medical plan to cover people in this country who have no insurance, who have pre-existing illnesses, then everyone would be supportive of it. So
yeah.
Show me the plan. Yes, like they say, show me the money.
He's been having a plan since 2015.
We haven't seen a
and
plan.
His run into his presidency in 2016.
Yeah.
There's a plan. There's a plan. There's a plan. There's a plan.
There is no
2 weeks.
plan.
2 weeks, everyone. So interesting that we're talking about ICE agents, because from CBS News, the rules of engagement for federal agents amid President Trump's immigration crackdown have come under scrutiny, with one former Immigration and Customs Enforcement director telling CBS News that agents have been put in a terrible position and are being tasked with operations in a city where they don't belong.
See? These agents, some of them do not want to be here. There are places where agents, I've always had respect for law enforcement. So don't get me wrong. I've been through those checkpoints down. We were going from Yuma, Arizona up to Phoenix.
Right.
Went through one of those checkpoints. Everyone had to get out. They had to check out the trunk and everything, check your bags. Been through it. That's expected. But to come through here and start pulling over people and yanking people out of vehicles and the whole scenario that's taken place, my ideal way to resolve this whole issue would be to have places, immigration offices, where everyone who has come through to this country and didn't go through the normal process would have the opportunity to come in, register, get a temporary green card, and get a hearing date and go through the process, rather than trying to round all these people up, give them a work permit, allow them to get a job so that they can experience the American dream that we all have the ability to experience.
And then also, if they commit a crime during that temporary visa, okay,
Out you
send
go.
them back. Yeah,
Exactly.
but we're not going to do that because it's too expensive, right?
No, it's less expensive to do it that way
But people
than
don't
it
know
is
that.
to do what they're doing right now.
So to continue with this, so this guy, his name is John Sandwig. What strikes me immediately is how this administration has put these agents in a terrible position, he said. These are units that are designed to address high-risk threats and bring overwhelming force to bear. And I think the big flaw here is not I don't blame these agents. I blame the administration for putting agents who are trained in this matter in a city where they don't belong. Okay, here's my question. Are these people grown people that, if you're at their place, how are you going to say, that this is their training? We're putting them in a situation. They don't know how to temper themselves. They're just trained to, act like they're doing, on innocent civilians. Is that the way we're
So,
trained?
like, what is that gang? M16? Is that what it's
MS-13.
MS-13. So they're trained to deal with something like that.
Right.
But now they're dealing with the poor lady selling tamales.
Yeah, you can't tell the difference?
Yeah. Let's go to the phone
I
lines,
find
then we're
that-
going
I
to take
find
a
that
break,
dubious,
and we'll
but-
continue on. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Well, if the authorities would cooperate with ICE and open up the jail records so they can see who is a gang member or former criminal, they would take those people and deport them immediately. They wouldn't have to go after the taco seller. Okay? But no, these sanctuary cities refuse to cooperate. They're protecting the criminals. And Adrianna, treat the criminals with respect. Are you kidding me?
The thing with that is they are still human beings. Yes, as much as you want to beat them up and tell them all these nasty things, they're still human beings.
Yeah, well, you tell a human being that when he's putting a loaded 9mm gun with a switch on it to your forehead, okay, you tell him you're going to treat him with respect. These people need to go to protect everybody over here. Not just Democrat, Republican, whatever. The border's secure. Let's get rid of these people. Let's find the criminals and get rid of them. They're not coming back. That border's secure. Not the open border that Joe Biden had. There was no border here for 4 years. And you're talking about, let's have them register and have a hearing date. You know how many millions of people? Logistically, you can't do it. You can't do it. So let's get rid of the criminals. Cooperate.
Does that hold true for every criminal then? That we should not,
Absolutely.
because when Dylan Roof went in there and killed all those people at the church, the police treated him with respect. They took him to get a burger. So, I mean, is it only certain people that don't get respect and others do?
All criminals. All criminals.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
give me that. They get respect. You know what kills me? These mass killers, when they're bringing them out for court date, they got them in a bulletproof vest. Why? These guys responsible for killing how many people? And you're worried about somebody shooting him? Give me a break here. I think we all want the same
are
thing.
people innocent until proven guilty? Because
Of course.
sometimes they're going to trial and
Of
they're in a
course.
bulletproof vest.
Well, I think when you capture somebody that's got a loaded gun that's just been fired, I think it's pretty obvious that the guy has committed a crime and he's guilty. I mean, I think we all want the same thing. Yeah, we want to, let's agree on this. This is the greatest country in the world, okay? People sacrifice their lives to get here, okay? There is no better country in the world. We got problems here. And this division that's growing by the day is no good on both sides. You have to compromise. There has to be compromise.
So do you agree with that when it comes to immigration? Because this is the greatest country in the world, and those immigrants have sacrificed their lives to try and get here to enjoy the fruits of this great country. You don't think there should be a way that they are, once they're here, able to go through a process to stay? Because it is the greatest country in the world.
You cut the line. I'm sorry. How would you like to be on a waiting list?
Oh,
How would
the
you like
line.
to be overseas, and you've been waiting for years to get here, and you see somebody that just cut the line, and now you're saying,
How do
well,
you
hey,
know
you're
they
here
weren't
already.
on the list already? And they've been on that list for 10 years or more, and they decided to try and take matters into their own hands.
Break the law, is what you're saying. They broke the law. Look, listen, you need immigrants. You need immigrant labor. Okay, let's get rid of the criminals. Let's tell people, hey, if you've been here, okay, and you've been a law-abiding citizen, fine, we're going to let you stay here, but you're never going to be an American citizen. There has to be some type of penalty for entering this country illegally.
That's fine.
There has to be.
That's fine, but I think that you're saying, okay, you got charged with a crime, you do your time, you do your parole, but you're never going to be able to assimilate into society. You don't think that there should be at least a time limit of, say, hey, maybe 10 years, after 10 years, you can become a citizen? You're saying you're guilty for life and you'll never be able to have repentance.
You got to start somewhere, okay? And that's a good point. You can start the conversation. That could come on later in a conversation. But first of all, you got to get rid of this criminal element. It's a small percentage of people that are ruining the lives of many people. You've got gang members on the south side of Chicago charging senior citizens to get on the bus. That's not right. Come on.
But how do you know those gang members were not born in this country? And their parents were not born in this country?
That's fine. Throw them in jail.
Okay. But don't deport them because they're U.S. citizens.
Well, if they're U.S. citizens, you can't deport them.
Right. Exactly. So you keep bringing up, we're talking about immigration, and you bring up gang members assuming that they're immigrants.
I didn't say that.
Oh, well, then what does the gang member have to do with the conversation we're having about people coming into this country and jumping the line?
First of all, let's talk about the difference between somebody that's here legally and somebody that's here illegally.
No, let's talk about what you brought up about the gang members charging people to get on the bus. What does that have to do with immigration?
Because a lot of these people from Central America and Venezuela are gang members, and they're taking control of a lot of these neighborhoods. That's why.
Or drug dealers. Or is that the same thing? Are we categorizing that the same thing? I'm not trying to take a shot. I'm just trying to say, are we putting them in the same category? Gang members, drug dealers. I understand they're all criminals, but are we putting them in the same umbrella?
How are you going to sort them out if you don't let these guys go and look at these jail records?
But you said they're charging people to get on the bus, so apparently they're not in jail. They're on the streets of Chicago.
Not. Oh, you're right, they are. Oh. But you know what? Law enforcement knows who these people are, and they want to cooperate. Chicago police are upset over this. They want to cooperate with ICE. They want to get these guys off the street. It makes their job safer. All I'm saying is this can't go on. It really can't. Half the country's on one side, the other half's on the other side, getting worse by the day. This could end up in a civil war in this country. And that's not going to be good for anybody.
Definitely not.
Thanks for taking my call.
And thank you for your call, and you're always welcome to come over to this side.
Well, I think my opinion with how the caller said that we are divided, I do agree with him on that. We are definitely divided. But our president is not helping that divide whatsoever.
He's a divider in chief.
He's making it even more divide. And they can't say, okay, well, you believe in that all immigrants deserve a chance and all that stuff. No, even take out immigration. He is making it known that he only serves the people that are for what he's doing and not for the people that's against what he's doing. The people that is against what he's doing, he said that they are the enemy within. Now, I feel that if Trump were to just say, hey, I understand you do not agree with me. Let me see how I can be a better leader for you. Let me see how I can make it to where I understand you don't agree with me. Let me fix that. Let me be a leader that my American people can be proud of. But instead, there's 7 million people that don't like what he's doing because he's dividing the country. And he's egging it on.
But what you don't understand, Adrianna, everything you said, that's called being presidential. And Donald Trump has never shown himself to be presidential.
So I don't know. Maybe
in the ideal world,
that's
the way a president should act and respond to his detractors.
Mm-hmm.
He should find a way to find a common ground to work together. And what he has shown, if you don't agree,
he does not care.
Mm-hmm.
He does not care.
If you don't agree with him, then you're on that docking list, doxing list.
Anti-capitalist, anti-Christian.
I didn't know I was a Hamas terrorist.
No, you are, and because of remember we talked last week about that.
Added into my job description.
Yeah, that MS or NSMV4 or 7 rather, that document where people are being picked up for speech. You know, they are. So we're all terrorists now.
Yeah. Okay, we got one more caller and we'll take a break.
Okay. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
My. Good God. Ooh.
Morning.
High five for all those people, 7 million people who went out and talked against no king, not a king. I've never thought I'd see this day. Verlie, I know they don't like to hear you bringing up the insurrection. Are those criminals? Now, I'm told, and I don't know if this is a fact, maybe you all know about this, Michelle and Verlie and Adrianna. I'm told that some of those ICE people are people, they hired them and they trained them to be ICE people. They were insurrectionists.
Mm-hmm.
And,
sure.
Let me say that again. It's my understanding, and I have to be careful and say it's street talk, that some of those people, and one guy told me, and he told me the other day, I said, I can't believe this. He said, some of these people are ICE, they were treated wrong, and they are out there doing the work that Trump wants to be done in terms of going at these people like that. So if that's not true, I hope that. Did you say you heard that, Michelle?
What, that they're ICE or
some of
say that
people
again?
who are ICE agents now are former insurrectionists.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
They're not getting turned down.
Yeah.
You're waiving $50,000 signing bonus and $60,000 of your college, loans, wiped out.
Now,
of course they're gonna. I mean,
and I heard them say they asked this one gentleman. I guess he was a red capper too. They asked him, say, "Oh, what about Obamacare? Oh no, what about affordable health care? Oh yeah, I like that. Well, it's the same thing. They named that Obamacare, okay? And yes, Obama said, yes, I care, And they have not found anything. He had a first term. He didn't do anything about it, because it was a good thing,
Right.
So I'm just sick and tired of when I hear this, and like I said, I'm going to be very brief this morning. I guess you say I was a little frustrated. I just don't like the fact that now, the crooks, what about this guy Santos? Just you give him a pardon.
Yep.
I know they don't want to hear about that. I don't know what they were going to hear about. They gave Adams pardon thing, and I'm just saying Donald Trump did. So I'm just simply saying, if he doesn't demonstrate to...
Well, they are New Yorkers, and Donald's got to take care of his homeboys.
Hey, Diddy's allegedly next on the list.
Yeah.
All the homeboys, he's got to take care of them.
But again, and I heard y'all saying he just ought to be presidential. When you tell me that I'm going at everybody who, including Joe Biden, he might be going at Joe Biden next, and Joe Biden is sick. Why would you pick a man that's not even going to run for president again? He's sick. Biden didn't do it. He goes to another country. Well, Biden didn't do it, and wants to get a Nobel Peace Prize. Give me a break.
Thank you, Ron. We have to go into a break. Speaking of giving a break, we have to take a break, but thank you for calling.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
So you are listening to That's What They Said on WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM. It is 7:35. We're going to take a quick break, and then we will be right back. Let me move all the stuff. Sorry, we had to reset our smooth jazz real quick.
And welcome back to That's What They Said with Verlie Suggs, Michelle Quinn, and Adrianna Alvarez here on WJOB, AM 1230, 104.7 FM. We're going to go directly to Adrianna with an update on traffic and weather, and then we're going to get back to the topics that are so hot this morning. And you're welcome to weigh in, 219-845-1100. Go ahead, Adrianna, take it away.
Okay, so currently right now at the Shack Evento Studios, it is 47 degrees, and we're seeing highs of 50s all the way through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and lows of 40s. Today we may see a brief shower or two, but other than that, Wednesday and Thursday is looking pretty good with just a few clouds in the sky. Taking a look at traffic, 80 going east and west is looking pretty good. Chicago Skyway is going west, going east is looking good. Lakeshore Drive is looking a little bit in traffic in some spots, but overall pretty good. We still got that exit ramp closure on the Bishop Ford, and that's causing a little bit of traffic right there from the Bishop Ford to Dan Ryan on the connector. Seeing that, see here, 94 West is pretty heavy in traffic all the way through. And we have here that Eisenhower Expressway going east and going west is looking pretty heavy in traffic. Stevenson Expressway going north is looking heavy in traffic due to the slow traffic on the exit ramp right there before I-94. But the Stevenson Expressway going south is looking pretty good. Other than that, not really.
And I-65 is doing good.
Yep. I don't. Oh, wait, hold on.
Because I have a 8:30 meeting in Maryville, so when I leave here at 8, I have to be able to get there in record time.
It's looking pretty good, so you should be good.
Sounds great. Well, I want to let our viewers and listeners know that there's going to be a bingo this Saturday at the Hobart Moose Lodge at 143 South Hobart Road in Hobart. It's a benefit for Haven House, so come out and spend your money for a worthy cause. Doors open at 5 p.m. Bingo starts at 7. There's going to be 50-50 drawing, basket raffles. The kitchen will be open, so they'll be serving food. Door prizes are going to be there, as well as moose races, hot balls, and more. $10 for 10 games, and you must be 18 to play. So we want to thank Councilman Mark Koppel over there in Hobart for keeping us informed and for the great things they do to benefit those in need.
So we got a couple topics.
Okay.
So we
Do we have anyone waiting?
We have one caller waiting, but I think we should hit these topics before we get to that call.
Okay. If they just got on, they can wait. Yes.
Okay.
So, sorry, caller.
The topics that we have is we talked about the No Kings. We mentioned a little bit how SNAP benefits are going to run out at the end.
Right. Yep.
If we do not continue if we continue with the government shutdown.
So they cut money from the food banks, cut money from soup kitchens, all social benefits for people have been cut, and now SNAP benefits, which provide food for families, is being cut.
Especially right
we should have. We should have on here is Vic Garcia.
Yeah, because he lost a lot of money over at the food bank.
Yep.
Yes.
We talked a little bit about the AI video that Donald Trump posted of himself and how he was causing a divide in the country.
How can you not be just horrified by that?
Those are also real people. That wasn't just AI generated people. That was a real person.
Yeah, that was a real person. Yeah. The image of who's supposed to be the leader of our country dumping feces on the people that he doesn't like because they did it in a protest setting.
And that his administration said it's satire, he's making a joke.
Yeah, yes.
But the thing with that is that his administration makes a lot of jokes, apparently, because did you see how Caroline Leavitt responded to
your mom?
Yeah, with
your
mom joke. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. That's something that I would say.
Well, what did our caller say about the finger showing your age? It's apparently the president and his press secretary are showing their age.
So those things are...
Or lack of maturity.
They're satire. Okay. What about the Young Republicans group chat that was leaked, as well as we have another...
We have a new one. A new one yesterday.
Well. Is that satire too?
Well, let's let our nuts, because we know what was released, but our listeners may not. So share...
Let me...
do you have it? Because I was going to pull it up, but I don't know how many things
I think Michelle has it pretty handy.
I have it.
Go ahead.
So, let's see.
We also have about 15 minutes, so we're going to go quick.
Okay, so the latest article in Politico, which Politico is a publication that is mostly considered, right of center, right? So this is, this isn't one of our lefty, left-wing rags. Trump nominee says MLK Jr. holiday belongs in hell and that he has a Nazi streak, according to texts. Paul Ingrassia, President Donald Trump's embattled nominee to lead the Office of Special Counsel, told a group of fellow Republicans in a text chain the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday should be tossed into the seventh circle of hell and said he has a Nazi streak. Ingrassia, who has a Senate confirmation hearing scheduled Thursday, made the remarks in a chain with a half dozen Republican operatives and influencers, according to the chat. And so it just goes on. Using an Italian slur for black people, Ingrassia wrote a month earlier in the group chat seen by Politico, no Moulignan holidays, from Kwanzaa to MLK Jr. Day to Black History Month to Juneteenth. Every single one needs to be eviscerated.
Well, that's just part of some of the things they've said.
Right.
They pretty much have shown that they support Hitler.
They support rape. They're very excited about rape, everybody.
But what do they say? Oh, they're just young.
Yeah. Well, Paul Ingrassia, J.D. Vance, oh, these are kids. That's just college locker room.
Those are kids, but when
Paul Ingrassia is 30.
But when we say that the 19-year-old boy that was taken down by immigration in the Chicago neighborhoods, and we said that 19-year-old was a boy, no, he's a man.
Yeah.
But these are kids.
And a 13-year-old child was a gangbanger.
That doesn't sit right with me because if this is what the kids are doing now, I don't think that this is how all Republicans view. I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that.
It's not all Republicans.
I don't want to believe that it is all Republicans.
I'm sorry. It's, as I was just telling you online, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, you're fine.
It's not all Republicans, but until proven otherwise, it's always Republicans.
Yeah. So the thing is, I want to think that there are some people that, yes, they may like Trump, they may have voted for him and all that stuff, but they have to have a sick feeling in their stomach when they see this. And that, because the one that came out, is that part of his administration or no?
What, this one, or Paul Ingrassia?
The one that just,
He's supposed to be appointed to, what is the office again? Because I keep getting it confused. Let's see. He is embattled nominee to lead the Office of Special Counsel.
Okay, so he's supposed to become a part of Trump's administration.
Right. I believe he serves in it in some capacity now. Senator Thune has said that Ingrassia's it is now dead.
So his nomination.
So
he won't be getting that position.
Kind of a sick feeling in their stomach when they see that, and they're like, "Wait a minute,
they don't have a sick feeling.
What is happening?" I would like to think that human beings are better.
The alleged killer of Charlie Kirk came from a family of Republicans. Really, a family of Donald Trump supporters, but they will try and sway it to, he's
this
associated
isn't who
with.
We are. It's not who we are.
Yeah.
So do we have any more points to make before we go to the phone?
No, let's go to the phone call.
Yeah. So and then, callers that are waiting, we have 2 waiting. We're going to make them real quick, real short, because we only have 10 minutes left. So.
Okay.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yeah, I usually never call back, but last week there was that truck accident on US 20 in Portage where an individual from Mishawaka got killed.
Yes.
Because of, now, I do not know, I have not seen it on the news, that individual, 2 things he lied about. He did not have a CDL. He lied that he had he owned his own business and did not have an ICC number. Okay. Now, I did not see on the news, or they reported, if that individual was a legal citizen. If he wasn't, was he going through the process to be legal? And now everybody says proven innocent until guilty. Right there, he should be completely guilty. And now
right there, he's actually dead.
No, he killed somebody in the crash. The person that he's referring to was the one who caused the
You're not talking about the guy who was killed in the fiery crash, the driver?
But the driver of the semi did not have a CDL license, lied that he had his own business to the police, okay? do not know. Somebody told me he's not a legal citizen. I say yet. But have
we
they
had
reported?
a governor go to prison because of that, selling driver's license to people who were
But
undocumented.
this individual
in
that
Illinois.
lied, that did not have a CDL, was he in the process of trying to become a legal citizen, or was he one of these that came across the river and thought he's going to hurry up and get rich, and he killed a person and now infected that family from Mishawaka? Now, should our government give him the death sentence because he killed a Mishawaka person, or is our government going to let, because of, oh, he's not from this country, he's innocent until guilty and blah, blah, blah? No. He came over here, and he should have went through the legal processes and then go properly to get a job, but he lied 2 times. He lied that he did not, first thing, he did not have a CDL. Second thing, he lied, he didn't own the company. Now, is he innocent, or is he completely 100% guilty for killing an individual?
That will come before the court of law to make that decision.
Yeah, and I know, caller, I know which case you are referring to.
Yes,
and
Roko Stankovic.
Yeah, Paul Goddard, the Region News source, had commented on the post saying apparently his citizenship/visa was up. So, like you said, we don't know if he was if that individual was in the process of getting his visa renewed.
But the fact that he had a visa originally when he went through some sort of process.
Now, real quick, I'm going to let you go.
We're going to let you go because this is your second call.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling,
okay.
Mike.
Yep.
Good morning, caller. You're on the
we have
air.
another one.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Caller?
Do we have a caller? All right, let's move on.
Wait, hold on. Let me see here. Let's try this. Maybe. Okay, caller, are you there? I hear a little echo. Okay. If not, caller, please call back. But yeah, I know there's another case that you're referring to. There was another fiery crash. I don't believe.
All right, that's the one I'm thinking of. Right.
But
okay.
Yeah, this one that his visa was up, and I did a little research and to see, because there was a bunch of different visas, so I don't know which one this individual was placed on, and with the process of renewing a visa can be as little as a few weeks to as much as up to a year. So it's not to excuse the fact that his visa was up and he didn't renew it, but that's not listed in the article. So there needs to be a bit more go in-depth information and to see with that. But he did lie that of the trucking company, but people are finding it. So I don't know. It's a lot of he said, she said in that article, but it's still a tragedy that, yes, somebody was
tragedy.
Killed. Oh, what, the Stankovic one?
Yes.
Well, according to Fox News, or 32 Chicago, the investigation revealed that Stankovic did not possess a CDL, nor was his company registered through the Department of Transportation. He was also in possession of a suspended Illinois CDL, which belonged to a family member, police said. Stankovic was arrested and charged with 1 felony count of criminal recklessness resulting in death and 1 felony count of reckless homicide. As Stankovic was being...
Neither charge would give him the death penalty, just for our previous caller to know.
Right. As Stankovic was being taken to the Porter County Jail, police said it was determined an Immigration and Customs Enforcement detainer would be placed on him due to his immigration status. It is unknown at this time if Stankovic was detained by ICE or if he is in police custody.
Well, I'm not going to go by names, but what country did he come over from?
That is clearly Eastern European. He is...
Not Mexico?
No, shocking. I'm guessing it is either Serbian or Croatian.
Yeah, I looked at the Facebook of Region News Source, and a lot of people were guessing, but there's not a for sure he's from here.
Okay. Well, let's go to the phone lines, and we're going to be wrapping up the show very shortly. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, ladies. Thanks for taking my call. I wanted to weigh in on the previous call regarding this horrific accident. And again, we are fingers at the person, the immigrant, and we've done this to ourselves again, as we usually do. And it's the greed, it's the selfishness. For decades, we've to dilute the labor pool and they say there's other reasons why they wanted the immigrants here, but let's just be real. These companies and these employers are the ones that are behind a lot of bringing these immigrants who just want to make lives better and get a job, but they are taking advantage of, not just in the last few years, this has been for decades. They go after the worker, but they don't go after that trucking company. They don't go after the people that are behind bringing them over. We have someone in our grand leader. He had Polish immigrants for years, decades, working for them that were illegal, but that I guess that was okay.
And he didn't pay them.
Probably.
He did.
Or he probably paid them about $2 an hour, whatever, with no benefit. But the hypocrisy, let's start going after the people that are bringing them here, that are taking advantage of them, that know they're here. Go to some of these companies that are employing these people. It's very simple. I don't get it.
So with that,
and we appreciate you calling. You sound like you're on the highway, and this reminds me of our commercial we play. So you be careful for construction cones, okay?
Yeah, please be safe.
Thank you for your call.
So I just want to comment on that. I'm still doing a little research. So with how immigrants are able to make money in this country, I'm still doing a little research, and I hope to have that research done completely by Thursday, if not still learning about it.
Yeah.
But
they have to have a work visa.
They have to have a work visa or
a citizen or like a green card.
It's that, and then there's another thing. It's not a social
as
security number. It's something else.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the research on that, but like the caller said, why don't they go after the places of employment? And it's I know that we say that immigrants pay $100 billion in taxes, and if we take that out, our economy would drop. So, yes, in theory, it would make a lot more sense to go after those places of employment, look at the tax records, and some people say, well, they get paid underneath the table. But still, if they have some immigrants that are being paid through a certain way, it's not Social Security. The term is escaping my mind, but it's something like a Social Security, but it's for those who do not have a Social Security number. If you go to those places of employment and say, we're like to go to there and do the ICE raids at the places of employment, that would make this a lot easier. But they're not going to do that.
They do that. Well, they actually do that. They had a restaurant on US 30 that was shut down because one of the former owners around the clock, didn't he go to jail over that? They go into the chicken processing companies and what have you. So they do raid some of these companies that hire undocumented workers. To just
go to the places of employment opposed to the neighborhoods?
All right, so here's the catch-22. Say you have a restaurant and you have this help wanted sign and nobody's applying. But here comes somebody who doesn't have the legal paperwork and they need a job and they have family support. You kind of like, as an owner, you're kind of caught in the middle because you need people to bust the tables, to help cook in the kitchen, to do all the things. You have people waiting, complaining about service. Right. So you're kind of caught in the middle. That's why I think it should be a legal process where people can register, become a part of this American dream, and not have to work in fear like they do. When Inland Steel had their strike decades ago, didn't they go down to Mexico and bring workers back, entice them to come back here to work? Didn't they do that?
Yep.
Yeah. So businesses have been doing that for years. Just make it so that people can come here safely and not live in fear that they're going to be deported to what they left behind. Everyone wants the American dream. Everyone wants, a lot of people, I'm going to say everyone, most people want what we enjoy here in this country. And for us to be so selfish when we took it from someone else, to say that no one else deserves what we have, what is that all about? With that said, Michelle, anything to wrap it up? Want to remind people to come out this weekend to the Moose Lodge for bingo. And, of course, we'll be back next Tuesday.
Yep.
We have 2 guests scheduled for next Tuesday, ladies.
Oh, okay.
7 o'clock, we want to bring on the two entities that are coming together to build the YMC Boys and Girls Club in Gary, Indiana for the Towson Hub.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
As well, we do have somebody in our chat that says, exciting news from Maryville, Highland, and Griffith area. Wednesday at 6 p.m., we are launching a new full throttle biker service at Lakewood Enterprise Church, 5480 Chase Street in Maryville. So we
Okay.
just wanted to shout that out. Thank you, commenter. And yeah, if you guys have like different things that are happening in the community, please comment them so that way we can shout them out. Because sometimes we get caught up in our conversations that we miss these important shout outs for our community. So please comment them.
Yes,
and
the good
so we
news
can look at
stuff,
them.
if you will, as as one of our callers talked about.
I saw one thing. Good news is green turtles are no longer they're moving further and further away from being endangered. So they're moving up.
Wonderful.
Good.
Sounds
Yay.
great.
All right,
Adrianna,
well,
we
our
want to
guest is
thank
here.
you again for your beautiful in-depth coverage of the No Kings
We're
rally
gonna
in
go a little
Chicago.
bit more in depth on Thursday. And I will be playing the interviews that I did and kind of just talking a little bit more of the experience and just the different people I interacted with.
Very
Fantastic. So you've been listening to That's What They Said. We'll be back next Tuesday at 6 a.m.
Bye,
Have a great
everyone.
week.